Hi, everybody. This is Tracy Malone from NarcissistAbuseSupport.com. If you are going through a relationship with a narcissist, you've probably heard the expression of flying monkeys, right? Flying monkeys are the ones that actually have a flying monkey, and he flies, got a cape and everything. Flying monkeys are designed to be the voice of the narcissist and get to you in other ways. But it's really called abuse by proxy. And I want to kind of help you understand the way they do it, the reason they do it. And sometimes flying monkeys are recruited and manipulated just like you were. So while we often react very, oh my God, my friend is being a flying monkey, or they're getting whatever I say to the narcissist. That is certainly true. But sometimes they are just trying to help because the narcissist has convinced them that they're doing it out of love, out of concern for you. And so, I'm so worried about Tracy. She drinks a lot, and I'm worried she's just not the same person, and she's always yelling at me, and la 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 la. So, out of that concern, the person who would be the flying monkey wants to help. They want to help make it better, not necessarily destroy. No, I'm not saying that your ex's best friend should be trusted. No, right? We don't trust the people that are too close to a narcissist and even their own family. I was betrayed totally by my ex's family, where they were like, "We love you, and if he ever decides to leave you, we're going to be on your side," and all this rigmarole. And they were just totally undermining and sneaking and getting intel on my fears and reassuring me, "Oh, don't worry, that won't happen." And then they knew the roadmap to destroy me, right? So they were more than flying monkeys. But abuse by proxy is something that I really would like to kind of enlighten you on, because it is the flying monkey thing, right? Narcissistic abuse comes in so many forms, and emotional manipulation is, outright intimidation, right? It is designed to confuse you and make you feel more alone. So, what is abuse by proxy, right? This is when a narcissist manipulates others. These are your friends, your family, your colleagues, and even professionals. You've all heard the therapists and the lawyer stories. But these individual may know that's happening, or they just want to help. And I'm not making excuses for them. I'm just saying they are often manipulated as well. And so we just need to understand that, right? By orchestrating the abuse through others, narcissists avoid the direct confrontation and sort of like maintain their image and isolate their target more effectively. If you think about it, right? It's someone else is doing their dirty work. That's what it really is, right? So how do they do this? Bunch of different ways. If you think about, we all know about the smear campaign, right? This is when they spread false narratives about their victim, and they portray themselves as the victim and the target of you, right? They will convince friends and family and members and coworkers that they will lie to them and convince them that you are the bad one, and they have to protect them now. That's kind of how it works. Triangulation is another thing, right? The narcissist brings that third party. It doesn't have to be a flying monkey, but they bring in that third party, and they might tell that person, like a friend, about an argument that you had, but they twist the facts. And I know you all have had this happen, where you hear only partial parts of the story and all the things that they did that instigated the whole thing, or you reacted to what they were doing, that gets left out. Only the part about you gets put into it. And so, again, this is how they do it, right? They also, might use a new partner. If they've moved on, they will use this person, rub them in your face, stick them with your children and you have no control over it, right? They're doing that to make you feel horrible. They've moved on. There must be something wrong with you. Narcissists always move on first because they have no emotional connection, but they're trying to make you feel worse by doing that, right? And that's all part of this, right? When they involve authority figures, and I'm talking again, the therapists, the lawyers, you know, accountants, things like that. Um, they are going to use those again to almost amplify their message, right? They're going to cause more harm to you because false allegations of abuse or neglect or even criminal activity are so common in this scenario. For those of you who don't know it, but the reason I found out about narcissists was not my ex-husband or his crazy ass family or my own crazy ass family, which came after I learned all about this, but it was with this man that I dated for 2.5 years who I found out he was cheating. And when I found out that he was cheating, I said, get the heck away from me. Gross. Stay far, far away. He's like, can't you forgive me? Can't you forgive me? And I'm like, I'll reach out when I'm ready to talk to you. After a forgiveness sermon at my church 3 months later, I went to his house to forgive him. I didn't want him back. I swear to you, I did not want him back. I just got the thing from God, forgive and let go, and you'll be fine. And that's what I went to. And he called the police and had me arrested. Everything he said was a lie. He recorded the whole conversation and then edited it to match his false story that he asked me to leave 7 times. It was not true. But that's when they involve those authority figures, right? He put me in jail. I was only there for a day, but he put me in jail. I had a trial. I have a criminal record. I had to do probation. I had to do domestic violence like classes for a year, and I wasn't allowed to leave the state. Those are the consequences of them involving legal things. When I used to run support groups in person here in Colorado, we would have 25 at one group, 40 at the other group, and there was never less than 5 of us who had been arrested by their narcissist. Never less, men and women, right? And so it's a strategy to involve and make their case better. If you get arrested for child abuse or all of the other things that narcissists accuse people of, then their case looks a whole lot better if they're fighting for custody, right? It's a validation that can go a long way, right? That they're going to do those things. And when they involve the police, that's why I'm telling you this little bit of my story, because when they involve the police, um, it has consequences. When they lie in court and tell people that you did something to your children, that has consequences. So they are not above using all of these people to get to you so that they win, right? They also think about this. They use their children, right? Um, and how do they do that? They play the victim. They badmouth the other parent. And this causes like loyalty conflicts in the child. They don't know who to believe. They can also like use the children as messengers. I've had clients where the children come home from the other parent and say, why don't you just kill yourself? You don't deserve to live. This from an 8-year-old? That's obviously coming from the parent, but that's the messengers that destroys the other parent. To come home and your loving children are now wanting you dead. That's the extent of a narcissist using their children. And it happens every single day in a million different ways, right? If their child rejects them because they're crazy, they blame you. They'll bring it to court, they'll bring it to the police, and it's all because they are bad parents, but they've got to really move the dial to get you in trouble, right? So we talked about the flying monkeys, and all of these people may or may not be willing participants in it. So in some ways, we always I'm like flying monkey, bye, you're out of my life. I don't need you here anymore, right? But it could be a learning experience to watch and see and just see what happens. But certainly you don't want them in your life, but you have to understand what they're doing and why they are being manipulated, right? So if we think about it, why do they do this? Why? Well, for one thing, they can stay clean, right? Others are carrying out their abuse, right? They deny any responsibility and they're blameless. Who me? I didn't do anything. That was our neighbor or your best friend, right? When it's that kind of thing, they are maintaining their image, but they're also amplifying their power, right? By manipulating others, they're like, haha, not only am I manipulating one, but I'm manipulating her whole family to turn her against her. Or I've manipulated, their best friend. And it it feels good to the narcissist to have that power to destroy you in a different way. They also create chaos with this, right? It's they thrive on drama and chaos, right? So by using abuse by proxy, they stir the conflict between you and others, further destabilizing you because you're sitting here going, my best friend. Like all of a sudden you'll see all of your besties and your biggest support system turn against you. This is how the narcissist does it, and they avoid consequences because I didn't do it. What are you talking about? Me? I'm so innocent. I didn't do it, right? Very hard to prove, right? But when they do this, they're going to create this isolation. You're going to feel abandoned and betrayed by the people that you trust the most. That's why it hurts so much. We can talk flying monkeys, but it hurts. And it creates this like you are being isolated from all of your support system when you need it most. And that's their goal, right? But I think it also brings self-doubt, at least for people who are kind of aware. Like, did I do something? They start to have self-doubt. Like, well, did I? I'm like, it happens. It is why emotional abuse kind of works, right? It's self-doubt, and they are happy that you're doubting yourself. Because if you're spending time doubting yourself, you're not war ready. And divorcing a narcissist or getting away from a narcissist is a war, right? Um, they also do it because it's going to damage your reputation. And it's going to be really hard for you to build this back. And while it will be hard, you will lose a lot of friends. There's no question about that. But what I had to learn was the people that stayed are the good ones. The people that went to the dark side and were those flying monkeys were more interested in him for his money and his, you know, things that he did for them. He bought and paid for those friends. They weren't really friends. Some of them were co-workers of mine that he hated. And now just because I'm not there, he clomped onto them again to make my life more painful. I didn't miss him, but at the same time, he thought it was going to get to me, right? So I want you to recognize this pattern and understand it, because if you are just thinking flying monkeys, you don't understand how to get away, right? If you have someone that is acting like a flying monkey or acting suspicious or trying to recruit you or explain the narcissist side, we limit that communication. We don't need them in our life. It's not healthy. And we set really good boundaries for people who, we feel could be this, person that's been infiltrated into ruining your life. Keep yourself safe, but always remember that you will be okay, and build a new support network. If I didn't start my support groups when I was going through this at the beginning, I would have been like shit out of luck. This is 8 years later, and some of those people are my best friends, and I trust them more than anything in the world. That support group really led me into this career, which was not intentional, but it really helped me understand how vast this problem was. So, build yourself your own new network. And if people are betraying you by not talking to you, standing behind you, let them go. You don't need them right now. Maybe they can come back later, right? But if they are being used as a weapon, keep the weapon out of your house. Know that it's just suspicious. And I don't like the way they said that. I don't even think I would advise you to talk to them. Let me talk to my best friend and see, because what's that going to do? You're going to go there. If they are truly a flying monkey, they're going to go back to your ex and say, "Oh, Tracy called me and she's so upset with me and blah, 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 blah." And the narcissist is going to recruit them to keep going. You see, I told you she's a problem. Let's get this figured out. So be kind to yourself during this. The lies you have to prove in court are about your co-parenting and your life as it was, financial things for court. Those things, those lies have to be defended. But some of these other things that the narcissist throws out there, go for it. There's nothing we can do. And as long as you are in a safe place and these lies are not going to potentially legally ruin you, if you let it bother you, they're winning. So protect yourself. This is Tracy Malone from NarcissistAbuseSupport.com. I coach people all over the world. I hope you like this video. Please like it and subscribe if you haven't. If you are listening to me on my podcast, thank you so much. And I welcome you. And I will be back with another video really soon. Thank you so much.